As you didn't see it, Flagrant had on Bernie Sanders. And Bernie Sanders, it was like an hour and a half. I agree with a lot of what Bernie says in theory. I think a lot of what he says is pretty, like most common people can get behind that. I think Bernie Sanders is pretends to be like an old school Democrat, but like the people he's aligning himself with are not old school Democrats, right? Like the things he says, and the biggest problem is, to be honest, is he's a coward. Okay, and I don't know if this is the right clip, so we're gonna find out. But basically, there's a point where they're asking Bernie. He goes into a lot of different subjects, and again, most common people, if they just take Bernie at the words that come out of his mouth, face value, agree with Bernie, right? Like I think, especially with where the country was at in the Biden regime, right? Which is we're just giving away money to all these different places, right? I think that regardless of if you want to consider yourself left or right, I think most people who are common sense people, if we're going to frivolously spend tax dollars, it shouldn't go to making politicians rich, and it shouldn't go to foreign countries over our citizens first. So I have no problem if you're going to waste our tax dollars, because you're going to waste them anyway, right? At least waste them here. And so a lot of the things that Bernie talks about, I think would be better wastes of our tax dollars. Still wastes, but I think better wastes of our tax dollars than sending them to Uganda for studies on tribal footwear, right? Like nobody, like personally, I don't pay taxes for that, right? And I'm just, it's appalling to me how many of these people, especially in the political realm, their whole goal in life is just power and greed and taking our shit as the people who pay in. And at some point, I don't think it'll ever happen because I think America's too pussified at this point. But at some point, like back in the day when we first came here, the Tea Party was based on a 2 or 3% tax on tea. They didn't want to pay England 3%, and they went to war over it. And now we pay 60% of our income in taxes when you look at every dollar that we spend going back into the system, as well as being taxed on every dollar. And then when we die, et cetera, it's over 60 cents of every dollar goes to the government. And again, I think regardless of what side you're on, everybody agrees that that's fucked up and wrong. And so if the money's going to go anywhere and it's going to be spent frivolously, I think 99% of human beings can agree it should not go to elites to get wealthy for being in a political position, and it should not go to foreign countries. It should at least be frivolously spent on the people of this country, which is where Bernie primarily wants all the money, right? Like he's very socialist. He's very, very socialist. Like if you look at all his actual agendas and all his actual things, he's a very, very socialist person. That being said, it's like it's like diet socialist, right? Like it's the stepping stone to socialism. So a lot of people will agree with a lot of like the baseline of what he says. And the problem is with AI is I think eventually at some point we're going to have to move this way anyway. But that's another video for another time. Let's get into this one.
Points. And we felt that over the last 4 elections, Democrats, we felt that we didn't have a say on who could be president. We talk a lot about the Republicans being autocrats and oligarchs and taking over democracy, but from the Democrat perspective, and I'm a lifelong Democrat, I felt like the Democratic Party completely removed the democratic process from its constituents. And I think they need to have some accountability of that.
No argument here.
I donated for you.
So what they're talking about, if you guys don't remember, is remember Joe Biden was told he's not going to run by the powers that be, and then they put Kamala in. They did not run a primary. They did not vote for their candidate, and that turned off so many Democrats because at the end of the day, you can't scream "Save democracy" while shitting on democracy. The whole idea of democracy is the people vote, and the more votes you get, then go to be voted for president. And that's how democracy works, right? In fundamental baseline form. So for you to be screaming "save democracy" while at the same time shitting on it by appointing the person running instead of actually electing the person running, this is what happens. And this is why you lose every state that had voter ID. This is why you lose the popular vote. This is why you get landslide defeated in the electoral college, is because you fucked up. And you put in an unqualified person who literally couldn't get 1% of the primary vote when she ran. And the person who ran her out of the building was Tulsi Gabbard, for showing how absolutely hypocritical and retarded Kamala was. But that's a different video for another story. So that's what they're talking about here, in case you don't understand this.
I wanted you to like 2016. I was like, this is going to happen. This guy's going to do it, and it felt like they stole it from me. And I'll be honest, it broke my heart when you supported him.
Look, but you have, in the world that I live in, you got a choice.
Coward. This sentence right here is why I will never vote for Bernie Sanders. And I like Bernie. I don't think he's a completely terrible human being. But that sentence says, yeah, I was more worried about self-preservation than I was about the American people. And political service is what they're signing up for, is service. It is service to the American people and the voters. That is your job. The fact that more politicians don't actually understand this concept is mind-blowing to me. Like, if I ran for politics, this is honestly, like, everyone has skeletons in their closet, right? I'm no different than you guys. So obviously they're going to pull up all of the shit that I've ever done wrong in my entire life. And I'm just going to tell them, yeah, okay, great. Like, if I sit down with the media, it's okay, cool. Well, like, I want to make this better for all of us. So what would you have me do? And have open dialogue. Right? Have votes on social media, have opinions heard, and then say, these are the things that I want to run on. So if you want to vote for me, these are the things that I care about, right? I will go to Washington and I will fight for these things in service of my people and what I stand for. And then if people vote for you and you win, you get to go do those things, and you'd better go do them. This guy is blatantly saying, I'm a pussy, I'm a coward. I wanted to keep my job and my cushy income and all the millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars that I've gotten from Big Pharma, and you can go look that up. Okay? This guy is he is not above board. He is not a fucking righteous politician. He's as scummy, if not worse, than all the rest of them. Just like everyone on the right, just like everyone on the left. It's all a big fucking game. And the fact that you guys pick sides against who's going to fuck us harder is mind-blowing to me, how ignorant you guys are who get emotionally upset about politics. This is the American citizen. I'm the American citizen. We're going to get ass fucked by politicians. It's just, do you want a dick that goes left or a dick that goes right? But it's going in your ass. And the fact that you fucking idiots think that there's a moral, that thinks that one choice is different than the other, at the end of the day, the same outcome happens. There's a dick going in your ass. And the fact that you haven't woken up to that yet and realized the only way out is to accept the dick and work hard. There is no saving us. There is no one side's going to do this. There's no one side's going to do that. They're playing a game with you. And they're trying to make you pay attention to the game they're playing so that they can make more money. That is what they're doing. It is a show. Behind the scenes, they're all buddies. They're all stealing your money on both sides. You saw it at the funeral when Barack Obama and Trump are laughing and giggling and having a great old time. You know what they were saying? Do you believe these fucking idiots still believe that we're on different teams? We're all here to get rich. We're all here to get powerful. They're peasants. That's what they were laughing about. In case you haven't figured that out. Now, do you have to choose the lesser of two evils? Sure. Do I tend to agree with more of the crap that comes out of Trump's mouth than I do with these assholes? Yeah. I voted Democrat for 8 years. I voted Republican for 12 years. That's my voting history. I am a centrist at heart. This guy's a fucking coward, and he's a socialist, and he's a piece of shit. But so are all the rest of them. And I like Bernie. It doesn't change what he is.
And I mean, a lot of people, including my wife, agree with you. But, you're down to a choice. Is it going to be Hillary Clinton or is it going to be Donald Trump? Not a great choice.
But it ended up being him anyway, so why don't we burn it down?
Well, because it's easy to say burning it down means that children are not going to have, food to eat.
This is what they do. So this is the difference between Democrats and Republicans. Every common sense person goes, if the system is so fucked, why don't we burn it down? And you know what the answer is? Democrats play to emotion. Think about the starving child and the families. And the Republicans will say other stupid, ignorant shit, right? They play on emotion, not facts. The facts of the matter is we absolutely could. We could sit there and say, hey, none of you fuckers are in charge. Fuck you. None of us are going to listen to you. We're all done until you guys fix your shit. And however long it takes you to fix your shit, great. But after month 1, we're coming with ropes. Guess how quick they change their shit? That fast. The problem is this. People say shit like this, and the emotional, unintelligent, right? The people who are emotional and unintelligent, have zero logic, go, oh, yes, well, we couldn't do that.
That the schools will deteriorate, people will not have health care.
I got it.
And I'm an elected official. I got to represent the people.
That's fair.
And I can't turn my
It's
back
not
on
fair.
it.
But then could we not also say if ostensibly there hasn't been a fair primary for the Democrats since 2008, are they not also a threat to democracy? We often hear.
Fair enough. That is.
Bernie said that part. He's not allowed to say this. He's going to get in trouble for that. Listen again.
Also say if ostensibly there hasn't been a fair primary for the Democrats since 2008, are they not also a threat to democracy? We often hear.
Fair enough. That is. Yeah, I'm not going to argue with that point.
Again, he knows. He knows. He just told you the game. I told you at the beginning of the video. I prefaced the whole video for this 90-second clip. And keep in mind, I didn't know that this was the right clip, but it was the right clip. This 90 seconds told you all you need to know about politics. This 90-second clip. Thank you.